And yo, what's up? ¿Qué es la que hay, mi gente? Esto es que tal si hablamos el podcast. Otro episodio, Mike. I gotta say, this is gonna be one of my most favorite episodes. I, you guys know I always do the Spanish stuff. I told you guys we're gonna move to English a little bit, and I'm gonna give some surprises. I'm gonna bring you guys some good stuff. And today, I bring a guy that I met a few weeks ago at a wrestling event here in Fargo. Uh, I was telling him when we started, like I was so excited when I walked to that event, and the first thing I see is a Puerto Rican flag. I was like, "Oh my God, it's one of my people in here. I don't feel alone now." And I was so happy. And I'm gonna present you guys. They call him. Oh wait, let's see if I have it here because I don't want to talk crap and be like. They call you the Frank Sinatra of the Puerto Rican mafia or the Latino mafia. Did I say it
The
wrong?
Frank Sinatra, the Spanish mafia. I cover the whole culture, you
Holy
know?
shit. So the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish mafia people. I have for you guys today Gino Rivera.
What's good? What's good? What's
Yo,
good,
yo,
Papi?
yo, yo. And present to the people here. I will say plug anything that you have, wherever you're gonna be for the next few weeks, your Instagram, your store. Let's do that first so that people will follow you. As soon as they're listening to this, they can go and follow you and check all your stuff.
Absolutely. You guys can find me. My name is Gino Rivera. You can find me on all social media platforms at Gino Told You So, one word. I'm hitting the next few cities: Las Vegas, Colorado Springs, El Paso, Tempe, Phoenix, all in the next, gosh, every week is a different city. So be sure to check out my school, OTR, Off the Ropes in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Be sure to check out another school where I'm from, Santino Bros Wrestling in Los Angeles. And also check out my store on Pro Wrestling Tees, and my link tree at Gino Told You So.
Ooh, so check that link tree. You're gonna find everything. I have part of the merch here. So this is one of the hats I got it
Damn.
when we were here at Fargo. Um,
Yeah.
man, I want to go back. See, how long you been on the wrestling, your wrestling career?
I've been wrestling for 14 years, training for 13 on the grind, every weekend, consistently, nonstop, through injury, through pain, through life, through death. I've been in that ring nonstop for 13 years, and it's been the greatest moment of my life and also some of the darkest moments of my life. But I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And what got you into wrestling?
My mother, my mom loved, she loved The Undertaker, man. And I just remember as a baby, you know what I mean, just watching TV and she's watching The Undertaker, and I just was hooked ever since. I couldn't shake it. It was like a drug. I don't do drugs, but wrestling is my drug, and I've been hooked for the past 34 years, you know what I mean? Like there's not a day that I wake up and I don't think about wrestling. There's not a day that I go to bed and I'm not falling asleep to wrestling. There's not a weekend that I'm not wrestling or training or studying my craft. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
wrestling is in my blood, especially for Puerto Rican people. We love wrestling. You know what I mean? So that's what it
we
is.
do. When I started watching wrestling was my mom and my stepfather. They were watching what it was the IWA in Puerto Rico. Was Sabio Vega
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
general manager. Oh my
yeah. I
God!
love Savio.
And I
Yeah,
fell in love with that so fast. And I remember going to events in Puerto Rico. I watched a few wrestlers like Ricky Banderas, Slash Venom, Ray Gonzalez. I watched them live. I
yeah,
watched a few big events that happened there when Ray Gonzalez took his max. He was the Ray Phoenix. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
always love, like, I will sit down every weekend, watch wrestling, and then just go to school and talk the whole week about what happened on the weekend and
yeah,
what will
yeah.
happen next weekend, who's gonna win next weekend. So, and since I was a kid,
Absolutely.
I have this title here. I always like to have
I
titles.
see
Since I
it.
was a kid, I always had titles and stuff with me. Um, it's
Yeah.
always wrestling is what I would say one of the most entertaining business, and something that from a kid to an adult, an older person can see and have fun. And if you are watching wrestling like live, you can enjoy, like join in, say stuff. They will say stuff back and like have that fun with the wrestlers and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah. I
something
mean,
for everybody.
look, man, I grew up with six brothers. I'm the youngest baby of six. And best believe that basically when we watched wrestling, we all fought. You know what I'm saying? we six Puerto Ricans in one house. You can't do it, man. You know what I mean? One's missing in that photo, but obviously, when somebody was on the TV, it was like, let me try this on you, or, somebody would get hit with a chair or anything. You know what I mean? My mom would be going crazy. Hey, sit down, sit down, sit down. Like just going crazy. And she had six boys by herself, you know what I mean? Wrestling in the living room. It's in our blood. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I'm the only one that's doing it, but my brothers, they supported it. They loved it. Anytime we had one TV in the house, most people today, they got like six TVs everywhere. You know what I mean?
yeah. The phone, TVs, computers,
I
everything
got
they have.
TVs everywhere. Yeah, I got a computer here. I got a TV here. I got an iPad here. But back in the day, we only had one TV, and you couldn't record wrestling and all that. But my brothers was very gracious and so nice to let me watch wrestling whenever wrestling was on. So I love them for that.
That's great. And
Yeah.
what? So, what's your most memorable story of wrestling? Like a good, really good thing that happened to you in the past 13 years that you've been wrestling.
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. You got me right there. You hit me right in the gut. Fortunately, I can't just give you one, but look, man, growing up, I wanted to wrestle for the WWF, which is now the WWE. And I just posted a clip on my social media of me wrestling with the WWE. Like, uh, gosh, I told everybody I was going to be a wrestler. They laughed at me, you're too small. My brothers too, they'd be like, yeah, 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 you'll grow up. Wrestling's just something as a kid. And here I am at 34. I'm a wrestler, right? But I always told people I'm going to be a wrestler and then I'm going to wrestle for the WWE. And I accomplished that dream not once, but a few occasions. Like I've done so many things. And I'm so happy to say that I at one time worked for Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? Just even if it was one time, I said, if
You
I
did
could
it.
step in that rope, through those ropes and land on that mat, and I'm working for Vince, you know what I mean? Like, oh, like I will die happy. And you know what I mean? I never need to do it again. If I could do it one time, I'll be okay. And it happened. And then it happened again and again, So it's like I've been working with the WWE every year since 2014 or 15, one of them. And I'm actually going to be working with them in July in about a few weeks. So I don't know what I'm doing, but cross our fingers to see if we do something special. Which whenever I least expect it, something happens. Whenever I expect it, nothing happens. So,
Sure.
but I mean, working for the WWE has been like the biggest achievement that I've ever had. And then wrestling in front of my mom, you know what I mean, who was a lifelong fan, who dropped off, as she got older. I only watch when Undertaker's there, but Undertaker would never really be there until WrestleMania. And wrestling in front of her, she's not speaking to me anymore right now. I've been, well, like 6 or 7 months I haven't spoken to my mom, but just wrestling in front of her was just like one of the biggest achievements I could have next to the WWE. Just, that just looking at my mom and her smiling and happy and just going, wow, like I didn't think he was going to do this. And here I am being like, snapping, bobbing and weaving. And like that is that. Look at my face. That's a legit smile because I'm so happy that I got to perform in front of my brothers, my mom, my sister. You know what I mean? Just everybody that means the world to me.
it's it's a personal achievement when you do things like that. I, I
Yes.
I I have done small things in my life, and every time I do something like and I show it to my mom, and she's like, "Oh, I like what you did," even I know it's not the greatest. Like with this
Yeah.
podcast, my mom will listen to it. I'm like, "You say something stupid the other day, but good episode." And I was like, "She
Yeah.
listened to it. I
Yeah.
don't care. She listened to it." So
My
that
mom does not like me as a. She does not like me as a bad guy. She's like, why don't you be a good guy? Why don't you be a good guy? You have such a nice face. Why are you so mean? And I'm like, yeah, ma, it's wrestling.
I when I was a kid and I wanted to be a wrestler too, I always said I want to be the good guy. And now as an adult, I'm
Yeah,
like I want to be the heel because I like the engagement that you can do. Like if I ever
yeah.
get in my life, I'm 30 right now, but if in the next few years I can train and I can at least be a manager or something, I want to be the heel person. I
Oh
like
yeah, it's
the
so much
trash talk
fun.
because you see the engagement of the people with you. Like,
Yes,
oh, shut
yes.
up. like, bro, when I saw you at the event of BCW,
Yeah,
and you were talking like, now everybody shut up, because I'm gonna
yeah,
enter the
yeah,
ring. I was on the second row, and I'm like, get in the ring, get in the ring. I was still yelling in Spanish, get in
yeah,
the ring.
yeah, yeah. It's so much fun to be a bad guy because no one likes the bad guy. Everyone wants to see the good guy win, and everybody wants to see the bad guy get their butt whipped. And for me, you know what I mean? We all went to school and we saw that one kid that was just he thought he was the big tough guy, you know what I mean? And then there was always that guy that you're gonna get your butt whipped one day. It might not be me, but somebody one day is gonna get you.
It's gonna
And
happen.
I played that character very well. And I've been a heel for 13 years, just nonstop. And I've had the honor of performing in different cities where I've been almost stabbed with a screwdriver in San
Damn.
Diego, in Amarillo, Texas. They popped all four of my tires. You know what I mean? I've had to fight my way to the bathroom. I've had to have security walk me to the parking lot. I had to have somebody wear my shirt, and I wear a lucha mask just to get out of the building. And they go to that guy and thinking it's me, but I'm sneaking out the back door. So everything that Roddy Piper and all these big time heels would go through trying to get out of buildings, Jim Cornette, everybody, you know, I've experienced that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Abdullah the Butcher, like he would cause riots, him and Brody. And I just think back to like for the road that was paved for me, I'm traveling on that same bumpy road, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's honestly the greatest moment of my life. When I walked out and I saw my tires flat, I said, wrestling. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even get mad. I was like, this is awesome. I almost got stabbed. I was like, I was scared, but I was like, ah, wrestling. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
literally having somebody saying, wait till you get in the parking lot. I'll be out in the parking lot. And I'm like, all right, I guess I gotta call an Uber. It's
Yeah,
wrestling. So
but I bet
I'm
you
so
sit down and be
happy.
like, I did my job. When you get people
Yeah,
like that, it means you did the right job because you are a heel on that part.
yeah,
So you did the right job
yes,
and you're maximizing your potential on that stuff.
yeah.
It's
That's why I'm booked a lot and brought back is because in wrestling you're wrestling for a reaction. You know what I mean? Your villain has got to get has got to get people upset and wanting to see you get your butt whipped. And then the baby face, which is the good guy, you've got to make, for me as a bad guy, I have to beat him up. I have to put him through a lot of pain. So the fans are like, come on, Hogan, come on, Hogan. And
yeah,
for me, I've got to beat him up and be like, no, 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 no. I'm gonna break Hogan down. He ain't getting up. This is it. This is the last time you're gonna see Hogan. You know what I mean? Or Carlito or anybody. You know what I mean? Shout out to
yeah.
Carlito, who I traveled with in Texas a few weeks ago.
Oh,
But that's why I'm brought back, you know what I mean, to a lot of places is because they enjoy my work as a heel in wrestling.
yeah. I read a post that you that somebody talk about you that like you know how to engage with the public, with the people that comes in to watch the wrestling event. You know how to engage with them, talk to them, and you make every time you step into a ring or into the arena, wherever you want it, you're gonna go and wrestle. Like people will be like
Yeah,
so engaged with you that makes more people either come in or talk about you after the event and all that, and it will make more companies hire you because it
yeah.
helps with the engagement all around, and that's great. I mean,
Absolutely. I'm not afraid of what they call heat in wrestling, and I'm not afraid of trouble and fights and fans and boys not liking me in the back. Like when I say I'm a bad guy through and through, and I show it. You know what I mean? I can be nice, but I can also be that guy that you can't even stand watching in a ring or on TV or on social media. Like I'm a bad guy through and through. I've lived this for 13 years. It's not just a small part of me, it's a big part of who I am. And whenever you hear about Gino told you so, just know that, you know, I'm for real about this. And this is my life. And I really put people through trauma and pain. And there's nothing and nobody that will stop this. As long as I'm alive, let the villain, let the villainous ordeals that come out of my hands and out of my mouth, let it fill you like venom, it's poison. This is what I do. This is who I am. I don't think I'll ever change.
I like that. I and I remember. So I bought the hat when I saw you at the event. I bought the hat. You were getting ready for your fight and all that stuff. And the guy was like, "Hey, come back later. He might be here. He can sign your stuff."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
even you're a villain and you do your job perfect. You were
Thank you.
so nice, man. You took a picture with me. We sat down. We
Yeah,
talked. I remember you could not sign the hat, so you gave me a card, and I signed
yeah,
his card, all that
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah,
like you are one of the, I will say, one of the greatest person I ever met that has like
yeah,
popularity and is famous because you are so humble. When we talk, you are
yeah.
so nice. And when I asked you like, hey, I have a podcast, I would like you to come in. You're like, hey, if you do this, let's do it. And I'm like, okay,
Hey,
give me a few days. And I remember I told you, give me a few days, let me set up everything.
yeah,
And when I set up everything and I text you back, and you are like, quick, hey, okay, when you want it, I have these days off, let's do it. Like
yeah,
you are so
yeah.
nice, man. And you, I can
Yes,
see that why a lot of companies think you're a great person to work with because
yes.
you're a great person, man. And you the way you do your job, I will say excellent. I enjoy your
Oh my
match.
gosh, thank you.
I watch your videos when you upload your videos on Instagram or Facebook. I sit down and watch it every
Yeah,
now and then, and I enjoy you getting into the ring, doing your talking, then getting to your match,
yeah,
doing your movement. Like you can see when I watch you fighting, when I watch you on the wrestling match, I can see you that you have polished your movements.
yeah,
You work
yes.
on your stuff. You work on your movements every day, and you've gone through a lot of bad days, a lot of good days, but you have
Hmm.
learned. Every day has been a learning process for you. You can see it by the way you move, by the way you talk to people, by the way you do your whole thing is so great, man.
Yes, and I really appreciate you saying that. A lot of people need to understand in wrestling is we do play characters, and sometimes, you got to have a soft heart and you got to understand that even as a bad guy, sometimes you can't always be mean because people are going through things and they come to wrestling and they see a wrestler and you need to treat them the way you want to be treated. Also, what you do and what you say to another person could impact that person for a very long time, right? How you treat somebody as like at a store. If you give them good customer service, what are they gonna do? They're gonna come back, right? You don't want to be rude. And trust me, coming up in the wrestling business, I've met some of my heroes, and some of them have let me down as they were so mean, they were rude, they were not polite, and just they mess with my whole head, and I'll never forget that. So I always go, if I treat a fan the right way, rather I'm a heel or a baby face, they will come back and they'll remember, hey, you know what? That guy he was super cool to me. I want to buy another shirt, or I want to take another picture. You know what I mean? I don't believe in charging for taking pictures. Like, you know what I mean? I'd be upset if my hero wanted to, hey, $50 to charge it. But I don't
For a
do that.
picture,
But
yeah.
yeah, like it's a picture, man. Like for me, whenever people want to work with me, it's more like, hey, like it's business, you know what I mean? And you're giving me a platform to sell my wrestling, to sell my character, and tell good stories, and also impact people's life, and make sure that like I can gain a fan and I can gain somebody who goes, when I saw that wrestler Gino Rivera, that's when I wanted to be a wrestler. That is my job, and I hold that dear to my heart. I know a few kids that I train in my camp that saw me and was like, when I saw you, I wanted to be a wrestler. And I take that very personally. So it's all about how you treat somebody after the shows, before the shows, you know what I mean? And it could just lead to very good things and very good friendships and business.
That is so true. What you say, it's so true. So going with that, you said like people will tell you you're too short, you can wrestle
Yeah,
like, and I know a lot of people will think that because
yeah.
I seen only one event of the WWE live back a lot of years ago in Puerto Rico, and I was sitting really far, but I could see like the Undertaker. He's a really tall guy. I saw a
Yeah.
few more people. I think I saw Triple H that
My
day.
idol.
He's tall. Like all those people are like 6'2", 6'4", 6'11". And how tall are you?
I am 5'5". I am a munchkin. I am a midget. You could say whatever you want, but
But
I'll kick your ass.
you made it though, because you were fighting a big guy when I saw you here in Fargo. I
Yes,
sorry I can't
yes. That
remember
guy
his
was
name, but
six foot. His name was Goran Nikoslav, and
Hey.
he's from Australia.
Oh,
So, and he was a big guy. He was way bigger than me, but when you put a championship on the line, I mean, I don't care how big you are, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, right? And I figured as a wrestler, as a shorter guy, I can't go toe to toe with him with my hands, but I can definitely chop him down like a tree with an axe. And that's exactly what I did. Chopped his legs down. I worked his leg and basically, tapped him out, which was a surprise to me. But he couldn't handle the pain, and I couldn't believe that I won the championship. I mean, I knew I was going to get it. I didn't think it was going to be that easy.
you became the AIWF champion that day.
Yes, sir. Yep, I
God dang.
became the AIWF Cruiserweight Champion. I picked up my 14th championship in 13 years. That's like a belt every year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
You,
um, it's a blessing. It's an honor. And literally, I haven't been without a championship title since 2017,
damn.
and like I haven't spent one day without a belt. I've always had a championship, sometimes two, three, four at a time.
You have how many
Um,
you have now? Because I
man,
saw a picture they had a few with the new one that you got.
yeah, I have currently three in three different states. I
Damn.
have the UEW Eastern Pacific champion in California. I have the Colorado Springs Territory Championship in Colorado, and then I have the AIWF Cruiserweight Championship from North Dakota. So I'm everywhere, like from the west side to the east side to the Midway. I'm everywhere.
You people walk around and be like, the champ is here.
Champ is I do it. The champ is here, right? Like roll out the red carpets. You know what I mean? So, and I tell everybody, if you're not careful, I'll take yours too, Jack Legend. I'm watching you, Jack Legend. You beat me the first time, but I guarantee you, I know what you like now. I know everything I got to do. I've been studying, and I'm gonna pick up his too if he ain't careful.
Oh, this is interesting. We'll see Gino
Mhm.
Rivera back in Fargo, maybe, or on the North
Oh,
Dakota
hey,
area soon.
hey, that's not a threat. That's a promise.
Ooh, hey, I'm just gonna say, boy, do not mess with Puerto Ricans. Do not mess
Uh-huh.
with Puerto Ricans. We don't
Uh-huh. And don't
play.
make me pop this. Don't make me pop this razor out my mouth. Ah, you know what I mean? Start slicing
Hey,
around, but I'll do what I gotta do, baby.
oh shit, this is gonna be interesting the next time you're in Fargo, or at least in the North Dakota. I'll
Mhm.
be whenever you're in this area, I'll be around. I wanna go and see you again. I wanna go. I'm waiting. They're gonna have an event soon, so I'm gonna go there and have so fun. I know it's gonna be good.
Absolutely. We had a run-in backstage, so I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw it, but he knows. He knows that he's got a big giant target right on his chest, not on his back. Because I like to hit you where you can see me. That way, there's no excuses. You know what I mean? So, Jack Ledger, if you're not careful, I'll pick up my 15th championship. Better
Ooh.
watch your ass.
Oh, Jack. You have a Puerto Rican looking at you, boy. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, hey, man. So, with all these, you've been 13 years fighting. You spent 1 year training. I want to know what will be one of your worst or a few of your worst experience, and what you learned about those.
Meeting my heroes was one of my worst experience. I met one of my heroes. I got a phone call that I was going to wrestle one of them, and I was so happy. This is a guy that I watched in high school, you know what I mean? And he just made me the happiest. I used to have his figure. I think I still do have his figures somewhere. I had his pictures on the wall, and man, I used to do all kinds of stuff in the pool, you know what I mean? I'm from the hood, so you know what I mean? We spent all our summers in the pool and started doing flip flops and front flips, and I emulated that guy, and he was one of my heroes. And unfortunately, he's not anymore, and I refuse to give him any publicity by saying his name, but he knows who he is because he knows who I am now. But I never want him to forget what he's done to me personally that left me in a lot of trauma and almost took me out of the game, man. This WWE wrestler in the mid 2000s who was released few months ago and all that. He had a match with me. Everything was great. It's on YouTube. And everything was fine until the end. And I guess because he felt I was a little slower doing something in the match, that he felt like he could take liberties. And can't really get into what that really means, but it's basically, you know, doing something you're not supposed to, that is not on script, you know what I mean? Going off script. And
Yeah.
he basically kicked me in the face, pinned me, and had his finger in my face, the middle finger, and he's like, F you, F you, F you. And they counted 1, 2, 3. He gets up and he kicks me in the head, and then he spits on me. And I didn't deserve that, you know what I mean? This is somebody I looked up to. And I just remember going backstage, and I was a hot Puerto Rican. I was raging. I was like, yo, you don't do that to me as a person, as a wrestler. You come here and get this ass whooping right now. And I was backed up by a bunch of people saying, pick your battles, and um, you know, just bite this one. Just don't let it go. Let it go. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But I was ready to throw away my whole career at that point, for the disrespect. You kicked me in the head, you flipped me off, you spit on me. You know what I mean? That just says no respect as a wrestler. And mind you, again, this was one of my heroes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I never forgave him for that. You know what I mean? And it hurts to even like talk about it, to even explain it to people, because no one will ever understand, and he won't understand because, he doesn't give a crap, he doesn't care. Um, I was backstage at a WWE show a few years ago, and I was sitting against the wall, and he walked up to me and he said, "Hello." And he shook my hand, and I shook his hand, and I just thought to myself, boy, to lose it all right now and just to deck you, I would never be brought back here ever again, and I would lose any attention that I have now because
Yeah.
I did something bad. But you know what? I know what he was doing. He was trying to set me off, and it didn't work, and I overcame that. So, but one day our roads will cross, and I'll deal with that accordingly. But that almost took me out. That almost made me quit wrestling forever. It took me to my darkest mode where, like, I was contemplating life, man. I was like, man, how could somebody do that to me? How could a wrestler do that? That is so despicable. That is so dishonorable. And I remember seeing him on TV. I couldn't watch his matches. I couldn't watch him. They featured him on a Cruiserweight Classic. I couldn't watch anything. They made him look like this honorable guy and this nice person, and he was anything but that. A guy that would leave me voicemails and totally telling me to hurt myself and what a piece of crap I am and all this stuff. Someone gave him my number, and he just figured a way to just taunt me and really take me out. And um,
Try to
this
play
happened
with
in
your head.
2000.
He tried to play with
Yeah,
your
yeah,
head the
he
whole
did. This,
time.
oh yeah, this happened in 2014, and it's uh 2022, and I still deal with this trauma. You know what I mean? My brother was murdered in 2014, and to add insult to injury, this guy, this WWE wrestler, this pro, this con artist would basically destroy my life. You know what I mean? And I never forgave him for that. But now that I'm over it, I just want nothing but him to know what he's done and him to hold himself accountable. And I didn't talk about it on speaking movement, speak out the Me Too movement. I didn't do that. I'd rather see him face to face and let him know it's either you apologize accordingly, correctly, directly to me, or you can get these hands. You know what I mean? Because you don't work there anymore, and I don't work there, and I ain't got nothing to lose, but you don't got nothing to lose either. So there ain't nobody holding me back, and there ain't nothing stopping me. But you will apologize, and I'm gonna hold them accountable when we bump heads. Accordingly, or supposedly, we're supposed to be having a match in November of this year. So I look forward to properly introducing myself the right way. He knows who he is, but that person was my hero, and he almost ruined my life in 2014 for a traumatic experience. And how I overcome that was I just kept working. I kept working hard. I kept telling myself, you know what? That is not your idol. That is not your hero. You know who is your idol and your hero? The Undertaker. And The Undertaker is an honorable man. And that is who you fell in love with. That is the wrestler that is the reason why you wanted to be in wrestling was The Undertaker, not because of that man. You liked that man. You liked that guy's style. You thought he was cool. You did things that Undertaker couldn't. You know, that guy did things that Undertaker couldn't as well. But that is not your idol. That is not your hero. The Undertaker is. And I kept remembering that. And I just kept plugging away and I just remembered treat people the way you want to be treated. And that is not how you want to treat somebody, whether it's a wrestler, a fan, a promoter, anybody in general. You don't treat anybody like that. There is no excuse for you to do something like that. And I always remember that whenever somebody offers their hand and say hello, I want to say hello. I look them in the eyes and I give them that great experience, whether it's me working for them or a fan saying, hey, I loved your match. I love to hate you. I could be that guy and go like, F off, get out of here, get away from my table or get away from me. But no, I remember what my hero did to me or my ex-hero. And I just will never, ever act like that or present myself in such a way. I'll never give anybody a bad experience. And I think that carries me through wrestling.
That is so great. And you have been the bigger person in this whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, when you
Absolutely.
meet that person again backstage, you could go bro crazy and I'm like, oh, you wanna
Oh
salute me
man.
now, bro? No, what I'm beating the crap out of you right now.
Yeah.
But you are the bigger
Yeah.
person. That and people get this wrong because like he said, like if we meet again and I have the time, you don't work there anymore, so I don't have anything to lose. Like we can either fight or you apologize. That is being
Yeah.
the bigger person too. Because I
Yeah.
know for some people now, like fighting is so like, oh, you fight? Like, why are you fighting? Blah, blah, blah. Like, why are you going,
Yeah.
like, getting into punch with other people? But we're humans. For
Yeah.
so many years, we males, we always have, like, fight. If we don't apologize or we don't fix the issues that we have, we just slap each
Yeah.
other in the face for a few times. And maybe after that, you gain my respect and I gain yours.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and it
And that's the
happens.
thing. Yeah, I
Like,
never got my chance to rebuttal. I never got my chance to be like, I didn't get him to ask him why he did that. Or these are all things that I put in my head. Maybe I was
yeah.
moving too slow. Maybe I did something to him. I never got an exact reason of why he did that. But I'm going to remind him should I be booked against him in November this year in Colorado. And I flyer and I post everything. So when you see that flyer come around in November, you'll know exactly who I'm
Oh,
talking about. And let me tell you, I've only shared this story maybe 2 or 3 times since 2014, and I think you're one of them. So, but again, yes, me being the bigger person, giving you an opportunity to apologize and go, hey, I was going through a lot. I apologize for doing that. I wasn't myself. You know, that's me forgiving. Because I can forgive people. I know when people make mistakes, but should you not apologize and should you have no remorse for the trauma you've done to me and put me through, then I got to show that same, that same respect that you're going to show me. And unfortunately, the years that I've held this in, it ain't going to be pretty for him. You know what I mean? And he knows exactly who he is. He just went down because he said a whole bunch of nasty things that got him exempt from another company. So, there's that.
we'll see. I'm ready to see
Yeah.
that flyer from November. I'm gonna be hitting you on Instagram like, oh boy, I got you on this one.
I'm more ready than I've ever been. I've been in a lot of street fights, school fights, and everything. I'm ready to either work and do business, or I'm ready to go ham on him and let him know that you can never not only do this to me, but anybody else ever again. Ever. And if I find out that you do it to somebody else, how you did me, every time you see me, I'm gonna whip your ass. You know what I mean?
Ah, ooh, I can see the Puerto Rican in you, bro.
Yes,
Completely.
yes. I'm now. Hey, bro. Don't get me started.
So
I'm hot right now.
so saying that, I want to know part of your upbringing. Like, I know you have some
Okay.
Puerto Rican in you and all that, but I want to know your
Yes.
upbringing, like where you come
Yes.
from,
Okay.
where you were born,
Man.
anything that can you can want to tell us here.
Oh, I'd love to tell you everything. Where do I start? My family, we are Puerto Rican descent, full-blooded Puerto Rican, you know what I mean? And we're from Ponce. My great grandpa, his name is Gino Vasquez, and he was a part of the army that traveled everywhere. He was in born and raised, in Ponce in Puerto Rico, and he got basically moved to New York, then to Washington, and then to Hawaii. And each time, my grandpa was a player, man. He had them ladies. He was a handsome looking dude, and let me tell you the truth now is my grandpa had five different wives, four girlfriends, and a couple of baby mamas on the side. And
What?
my great grandpa had 21 kids that he knew of.
Damn.
21 kids spread from Puerto Rico, New York, Washington, to Hawaii, to California. Just my great grandpa could not keep it in his pants. Lord bless his soul. Um, and eventually he had kids. They had kids, and my grandma had a daughter named Juanita, and she was uh, she was that's my birth mom, and she was raped by people in my family. So she ran away. We were in Honolulu, Hawaii, and then we moved to the Big Island. And my mother at 17 got raped and pregnant with me. So I don't know who my dad is, but I can only assume it must be somebody in my family because they raped my mother at 17. So
Damn.
I don't know. This is something I put in my head. She escaped that life, so she jumped on a plane and she flew to Los Angeles and she became a hooker to get money to make to eat to live, and she gave me up at 2 months old because she couldn't take care of me. A 17-year-old girl, selling her ass to try and eat and pay for a baby, me, and she couldn't take care of me, so she gave me up. She put me up for adoption, and people in Hawaii took me in, and this family here. Um, there was a lady. She already had five kids, and one of them is not here, but she had five kids, and she took me in. She's like, "I got five boys. I'll take them in." Yeah. Let me have them. And I grew up with them my whole life, not knowing my real mom. Uh, real mom was in California as a prostitute, as a runaway, 17 years old. She met a drug dealer. She got pregnant again. She kept my baby sister, but she gave me up. And then my real mom turned into a Hall of Fame, real life, retired porn star today. She's a she's a she's a porn star today. I haven't spoken to her in 15 years. We tried to, try to. I met her in 2000 when I was 13. My adopted mom told me, "Hey, you're gonna meet your mom," and I was like, "What? You're my mom?" And uh, she basically said, "No, like you're adopted," and I was confused. And she was like, "These aren't your brothers. These are your cousins." And I'm your auntie. And I was like, what? What? I was 13 years old. You can't tell the kid that. I wish I never knew that. I wish they never told me I had a real mom. And
Mm.
in the year 2000, she was not the sweetest person. She was a hectic case, still messing with drugs, still doing escorting as a business, and still a porn star. Yeah, she had a lot of money, but it was just this blood money and dirty money. And we just didn't work out. She kicked me out left and right, hated me, did not like me, told me not to call her mom, say that I was her son. She just hated me. I don't understand. My firstborn. I tried to love her so much, but she just didn't like me. And eventually, I graduated in 2006, and I went back with my auntie, and my auntie's my mom. No matter what title that lady wants to take, as a birth mom. My auntie is my mom, and these are my brothers right here, not my cousins. They took care of me from 2 months old till I was, gosh, in my early 20s, you know. But I have a baby sister who's also a stripper. Um, my brother, my oldest brother, he's been in jail in and out for almost 40 years, man. Um, I have two brothers right now dying of, you know, AIDS isn't really a big thing anymore, but they have it, and they've had it since 2000, and they're still around. So I don't know if it's dormant or whatever, but they're struggling with that. Um, I have another brother that's struggling with alcoholism, where he can't really shake off alcohol, and we try to support him through that. And then I have my brother who was a U.S. Sergeant in the National Guard. He was recently murdered in 2014 by two of his own in his camp. They stabbed him to death.
Damn.
I come from a horrible lifestyle. Um, when I say my life is traumatic and what I've been through, I mean that. My mom's a hooker, my sister's a stripper, my brother's been in jail, two of my brothers are dying. One of my brother in alcohol, murdered. I don't have a dad. I don't know who my dad is. People raped my mom. My adopted mom she has epilepsy. There's a lot I could say, that could put a whole nother shift change on my life, and I could be a drunk, I could be a drug addict, I could be doing bad things to people, but I chose the other route. And I chose to look at people around me and go, hey, this is my life. This is what it's like. And I don't have to follow them. I can learn from them. I'm the baby of six. So I don't drink alcohol because I know what it done to my brothers. I don't do drugs because I know what it's done to my brothers. You know what I mean? I don't party. My brother was murdered because of partying, and um, I don't do OnlyFans, and I don't want to sell my body because my mom did that her whole life to feed herself, and I support people that have been raped and traumatized because I know that my mom was raped, and I think I'm a product of being raped, like for all I know I could be my grandpa's son, whoever raped my mom, she won't tell me, but whoever did it, I could be their son, I don't know. And I never really wanted to go and look, the ancestry.com. I never really want to do that because my life is perfect right now, man. Like I got nothing to complain about. All the stuff that I told you and I'm going through, I got nothing to be upset about. I got nothing to be sad, and like my life is perfect right now. And I use all those as like hurdles to get over. I know what people are going through and I can relate. And I use that as like, hey man, like I've been there, done that. And that's what gets me going through today. That's why I accomplished my dream. I don't do drugs. I help out in the community. I do charities. I wrestle for charities. I love children. I support, every religion, every sexual preference. You know, I forgot to tell you, three of my brothers are gay, and I love them to death. And I support them during this month. Also, it's, Pride Month. I
Yeah.
support every one of them. I support my brothers. That's how I learned to love gay people, is because I love my brothers so much, and they're gay, and I don't look at them as if they're gay. You know what I mean? I don't care if they
You
like
don't see
other
them
men.
different. You see them as
I don't see them.
equal.
Those are my brothers, and I will fight you for them. I will
Yeah,
beat you up. You disrespect them.
that's the way it should be. Holy shit, man! Like,
Exactly, exactly. And let me tell you, it's like you disrespect any gay people around me, and I feel that same passion, the same passion with my brothers, because I see that. I've been around people disrespecting my brothers, calling them the FAG word and saying not
yeah,
nice things, and I'm like, I will go to war for my brothers. So you can imagine anybody else that feels alone because of their gay or their trans or anything. Like I will go to war for you, and you better not let me catch you using that word around me, because that don't fly. That offends me. You know what I mean? The same way I fought for my culture, I fight for my brothers, and I fight for everybody that rocks with me. I got fans that are gay. I got fans that are trans, fans that are struggling with alcohol, um, fans that are struggling with money, and people that have lost people in their family from murder, gangs. rape. I got fans that can relate to me, and that's why they're fans of me. That's why they support me in my journey.
Yeah.
That's why I think, well, I'm one of the realest wrestlers in this freaking game right now. I got books on the shelf at Barnes and Nobles that I wrote. This whole story that I told you is in Barnes and Nobles right now. You know what I mean? So um, I think, like I said, my life is so real, and I think that's why people connect with me is because I don't hide nothing. You know what I mean? I'm an open book. I love my life. I love the experiences and lessons I've gone through it, and how I've gotten through that is just, man. I grew up watching the Brady Bunch, and I wanted to live that lifestyle so bad because I never had a dad. I never had anybody sit down with me and talk to me about, hey, when things go wrong, this is how you fix it, okay? Like, no one's ever told me that. I had to act out, get suspended, get kicked out of school. You know what I mean? Like, I did my dirt and I cleaned up and I overcame that. And I think that's why not only am I a wrestler, but I'm also a role model in my industry. And people look up to me for these reasons because I've gone through all this stuff and I can help somebody. And I take a lot of pride in that. So yeah, I'm a heel, but in real life, I'm a baby face.
Hey,
Sorry
um,
to take up your time. Yeah,
being a heel, it builds your character, and I'm pretty sure one of the reasons you're a heel is because some of the stuff that came from your past. Holy shit! Like
yeah.
you, you just told me one of your story of your life, and I'm here like
Blown you away.
I don't even know what to say, man. Like it's fucking
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
I always say
yeah,
like we should not diminish other people's issues.
yeah,
Because what happened to you is the worst thing that ever happened to you. So you
yeah,
can sit here and say like this situation that I had is the worst thing I ever seen in my life because it's whatever was it's the worst thing that ever happened to you, man. And it's fucked up. Not don't let nobody tell you like oh you should not be sad because of that or you should not feel this way.
yeah,
Man, sorry, but fuck these people. Like
yeah, yeah,
it's hard. I can hear you been through freaking hell. I'm back.
yeah. I have my days, man. I have my days where I fall into a hole and I cry and I take some time away. But for the most part, I go, you know what? Through all the experiences I've gone through and all the people I've lost, my best friend, I lost my best friend right after my brother was murdered. He got killed too. I just think of it, man, like I gotta do it. I gotta do it for the little faces that are in my house right now. And I gotta do it for the people in the sky that I love. Out of all the things that I've been through, I gotta when my life is over, when I look back, what I mean, and my life flashes before my eyes. Did you make the best of your life? Did you do everything you wanted to do? And did you help somebody in the meantime through your story? Did whatever you went through, did you help somebody? And I can definitely answer and go, heck yeah. Like I've helped many people, not expecting anything in return. But when my life is over, like I can definitely say everything I've done was worth it. And I'm so proud of everything I've done in life. Everything. And I'm only 34. I'm still a baby. You know what I mean?
You have
So,
a few
but
years in your
I've
pocket now. You have a few
yeah,
years to
yeah.
run still.
I'm hoping. I hope I live till I'm all shrivelly and old, and somebody's got to push me in a wheelchair. But I'm just so happy with the life I've carved out for myself. This is a guy that grew up on food stamps and donations, and my mom was a single mom with six boys, and like we never we couldn't afford a lot of stuff. Like all the kids had the nice toys and stuff like that, and we never could afford that. And my mom would give up her last dollar to like make sure that the baby, was happy. I grew up with asthma and just a whole lot of problems. We lived in his house in Hawaii, and everybody thinks, "Oh, you're from Hawaii. How bad can it be?" No, I grew up in the boonies, baby. I grew up in the sticks. I grew up in the trenches and in jungles. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I was out where all the roads stopped getting paved. You know what I mean? Like I went to school without slippers and shoes. And my brothers would rob houses, not to rob houses, for money and gold and chains. We robbed their house for food, man. You know what I mean? Like, I remember my brothers putting me through a window to open the door so we could steal some red wines just to make it. applesauce, and my mom would bring home lollipops so we could sell it at school for 25 cents to move out of Hawaii to come to California, staying at the laundromat, sleeping, washing clothes. And I'll never forget, like, you know, the people would donate boxes to this women and children's shelter that we stayed at too. And I was so happy. And my mom's like, pick out anything you want out of these boxes. These are all yours. And I was so excited, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get a new shirt. Not knowing that these were hand-me-downs. These are things that people wore. These are things that, hey, my husband died, all his clothes are in his box, you guys can have it. And here I am taking school pictures, like in a nice shirt, not even knowing that these this ain't new. You know what I mean? I,
Yeah,
I
this is
remember seeing
legacy.
my brothers in high school, and they had these nice shirts that we got from donations, and I was so hyped. You know why I was hyped?
But
Because I get to wear that shirt next year because it was a hand me down. My brother would go, okay, I wore this in this picture this year. Next year, you get this shirt. And I was like, I can't wait to get that shirt. Oh my God, my older brother is wearing that shirt. And I could show you a picture of his sophomore year. And all of a sudden, me being right after that. And I'm in the same shirt he's in. Hand me downs. You know what I mean? I grew up on that. I grew up on food stamps where you have to pull apart the paper. You know what I mean? Like this is my life, my struggle, my journey. And I come from the trenches, and I'm so happy that I live now in a 7-bedroom house. You know what I'm saying? 3-car garage. I made it out of the trenches. Like
it's
this
possible.
man, this life is crazy.
And but all that shit just build the character, man. Everything that happened in your life build the character for what you have right now, and that's why what you have right now. If you never went to that hard life, and you get a 7-bedroom house with a 3-stall garage, nice cars, and a family, you will not appreciate it as much as you're doing it right now because you come from the
Yeah,
freaking bottom. I can understand.
yeah.
I don't come from like
I
the
come
same
from the
place you come from,
slums.
but
Yeah, Puerto Rico
bro,
ain't that bad. Not ain't that far apart from my lifestyle. It's
yeah,
probably the same.
but I mean, I have a lot of friends that died. I have a lot of friends that the only I do drink, and every now and then I'm quitting myself of alcohol, and I used to smoke a lot of weed, and I'm now cutting it back like not completely, but I understand that it helps me back, and
I
I
don't
need
judge you, baby.
no
I don't
hey
judge you.
I when I have friends that be like, oh, but you do it, you like do it. I'm like, man, if you don't do it, it's better for you. That's what I tell people.
Yeah,
If you don't do it, it's better
yeah,
for you. Like, hey,
yeah,
if you want to try it with somebody that knows about it and don't let you be messed up. But if you don't have to, you don't do it. It's kind
yeah,
of stupid. And
yeah, yeah.
I've been to some shit. My father is an alcoholic. He's kind of a piece of shit, but he's still my father. I have to respect
You
him for a
love
little.
them,
Not
right?
respect him, but hey,
Yeah,
I didn't talk to him for like 3 years, and later like I think it was in by the end of April or beginning of May, my mom gave me a call because he was getting arrested in front of her,
yeah,
and since that day I haven't talked to him that much, but I did call him back. I'm like, hey, I just want to know if you're okay, like, because he's an alcoholic, and as you have your brother,
they
you
need
know
it.
this. If I told him like, if you go to jail, you're not gonna last, boy. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
if he and I know his charge is stupid, not stupid, but it was like drinking and driving. He might never go to jail because of that. But it's the first offense. If he keeps getting into trouble, he might end up in jail like at least for a week or 6 months. And I told my mom
yeah,
like, what scares me now a little bit is if he goes to jail, he might never make it out because the
yeah,
alcoholism on him is so bad. He wakes up with a beer. He goes to sleep with a beer in his hand.
yeah, yeah.
And I,
You
I was
can't
going
you
I was
can't
going the
help
same
anybody
way.
that doesn't want to be helped.
Yep.
You know,
That is so true. And I was going
they got
I
to
was
go through it
going
on
that
their own.
way. When I was living in Puerto Rico, I was going that way. I will drink every week and I had no job. I was a piece of shit. I had no job. I will do
Yeah,
stupid shit for money, and the small amount of money that I will get, I will go to that weekend or that night and
waste
go
it.
and drink. I still drink.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't drink anymore. I still drink, but I have
yeah,
hold it so much back. There's been weeks that I don't even drink. Now, there's
yeah,
weekends that I'm like, oh, I want to get a few drinks the whole weekend, so I will get myself a bottle of whiskey, and I will be drinking. I don't get drunk. I don't like to be like, oh, I can barely talk or anything like that.
yeah, yeah.
But
See,
I'm
I
like, it's levels to the situation.
Yeah, I don't judge you, man. Everybody's got their own vices, but like for my brother, like all you got to do is be there and you got to love him. You know what I mean? Like I've sat in parking lots, in duck ponds with my brother, literally drunk at a park on his back at a duck pond, and just sat there with him and be like, "Hey, I love you, and we're gonna get through this together. You're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? This is only temporary, and I don't care how much you drink after this or before this, or I love you and I will never judge you. And I'm gonna be here every step of the way. And that's what they need to hear. They don't need
Yep.
to hear like, you're a drunk, you're an idiot and you're a mess up and oh, I'm not dealing with you. No, they need us. And like for my brother, I'll be there every single time. You know what I mean? He'll call me and he'll be like, hey, I can't drive. I need to talk to somebody. And I'll wake up 2, 3 in the morning and I'm driving to my brother. I'm driving to go get him or whatever. And they need that. They need that support. And they'll never forget that. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
That's
So,
true. Hey,
that's why I love it.
I learned that it's sad. I get a little bit mad, because my father was never there for me. My father's never been there, and I know it was mostly alcohol, so that kind of pissed me off. Um,
Yeah.
and I know I have to how do I say this? Like, apologize myself for things that I have thought and said before. Um,
Hmm.
and I have to like tell him like, hey, like I don't want to apologize to you because I know you did the wrong thing to me, but I'm here. Like, even sometimes you piss me off and you was never there for me, I'm still your son. I'll be your son till the day
Yeah.
I'll die. So I'll always
Yeah.
be here. But I'm not gonna lie, man. It's so hard for me to tell him that.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm going through the same thing. Like my mother, like she hates me, but you know what? Like I love her. And I forgive her for all that stuff she put me through and all the selfish ways, but she's my mom at the end of the day. So
yeah. It's we just learn, and when we go through situations like this, like when you went with your mom and with all your brothers, and like look at you now, man. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say you're probably one of the best, if not the best, independent wrestler right now. I see you everywhere every week. You've been to how many states you been right now? Have you been to the
oh
50
my
or
God.
almost?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Oh shit, let's go. So
Yeah,
like you've
yeah,
been everywhere. I'm pretty sure like in almost in every state that you have been, somebody knows who Gino is.
yeah,
Somebody knows who you are, and I'm pretty sure for thousands of people that you have seen, you have changed at least a few lives
yeah.
with what you
Just
with your character, your charisma, and everything. Like
yeah,
when I texted you earlier, when I no when I saw your post yesterday on your Instagram, the picture that I sent you about this podcast, I
yeah,
ran to my roommate's room on the next side of the apartment, and I was like,
yeah,
bro, he posted it. He posted the freaking picture. Let's go. Tomorrow's gonna be like you changed my whole mood. When you did that, you changed
yeah,
my freaking mood completely. I love what I do. I love doing my podcast. I love to talk shit. I love to bring people to tell stories. I love to debate people too. I bring here people to debate things. I
yeah,
love to talk.
yeah,
This is my if you
yeah.
ask me what my favorite thing is talk shit. I can talk
Oh,
my
I
ass
love
off
talking
to
shit
everybody,
too.
bro.
We're Puerto Rican, that's in our blood.
That's true. And but every time I accomplish something, it gets me like more happier and excited. And when you were so happy to tell me like, hey, let's do this, we're gonna do the podcast, and then you posted the picture, I'm like, let's freaking go. Every time I go to your story and I see the picture of this podcast, I'm like, bro, I feel like I
Yeah,
made it. I'm right now. I feel at the top. I know I have more to go because I will never. I always said that I will never stop. Like I will never see a last goal. I will always keep grinding like it's the first day. But when I see those things, that makes me feel like I'm making it, like I'm getting there. I'm this job that I'm
yeah,
doing every other day. That I'm doing a podcast twice a week. I'm recording. I'm
yeah,
talking, texting people. It's doing something for me. And
yes,
if you
absolutely.
help me change my mood just with a picture, imagine what you have done wrestling, going to different places, talking to different fans. But it's all
Hmm.
because of your experience. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure if you didn't have none of those experiences in your life, you will not appreciate anything that you have right now as much as you do.
yes,
And I can
yes, yes.
see like I don't know you that much. I met you at the event. I talked to you on Instagram a few times, but
That's it.
I can see that you fucking love what you do, man. You don't work.
Yes,
Because people that work, they don't love what they do.
Yes.
You have fun. You do your hobby. You're doing your freaking hobby,
So
making money and going around the freaking states and going out of the country and doing your thing, bro. And it's you appreciate what you do so much because I can see it when you talk about it. You have a freaking smile that anybody in the world can
oh,
see, bro. Like
my face hurts because I'm smiling too much.
when I see people like that, man, I love it. 'Cause I do I like my job, but I would love to do a podcast as my main job.
Oh, that's
And this is
yes.
like I'm doing my hobby and I'm making money and I'm helping people one way or another, and I'm doing my thing. And I appreciate you for being here with me today, man. I'm really happy. I hope
Yes.
we can do a lot of more things here outside of the podcast because you are somebody that I can see as put it as a role model. The way you work, the way you grind, and not just me. Other kids and other adults should sit down and see the way you work. Even if you don't like wrestling, now people that are listening to the podcast, even if you don't like wrestling, you need to see the way this guy work every freaking day. I have it on Instagram and Facebook. I see the post every day. There's a new fight, or you're bringing some old stuff so you can keep going with the engagement. You bring new things.
Advice, critiques, stuff to help the next pro wrestler in line, A lot of vets, they don't like to share what they've been through and they let us young guys figure stuff out. For me, I want to tell you, hey, there's a cop right there. Slow down.
Yeah,
Same in wrestling. Hey, be careful. This guy is not a good person. Or hey, there's the money. Go get it. Like I
sure.
like to help out as much as I can.
That is something I do. I like I said, I live with my roommate. He's like my brother, and the greatest thing that I do is we help each other. Like
Yes.
I build myself to the status that I'm right now, and I'm helping my roommate to build himself to where I'm at. We
Yes.
both, but there's something that we do. We both work freaking hard. We have bad days, we have good days, but we never stop working because it doesn't matter how you feel. You have to work. You have to keep going. I don't
The
remember who
show
said
must go
this,
on.
but if you are going through hell, and I've been saying this for years, if you are going through hell, just keep
Keep
fucking
going.
going. Just keep moving.
Yeah.
It's been my motto for years, and I always say it. If I'm having a bad day, if I'm sad, if I'm feeling depressed, I'm going through hell. The only thing I need to do is keep going. And if I don't find that motivation, I will find something that will get me motivated. That's the
Yes.
best thing to do. Just work a little harder. Whatever is happening in your life, it will get better. There's always
Yes.
storms, but the storms. If you see the storms that happen or in Earth, are like filters to clean the ocean, to clean the atmosphere and all that. When you see a lot of hurricanes, it's because Earth is like hot, so it needs to get colder. It's the same with life. When we go through bad things, it's like a storm. We have to take the best of it. We have to see our issues, our problems as experience. Because from good
Yes.
things, you gotta learn things from doing the right thing or getting good things in your life. You gotta get a few things, but from bad things, that's where you learn. That's where you're
Mhm.
like, oh, I did that and that messed me up. I should not do it again.
Yeah.
You really
Yes.
learn from the bad things. Now, if you're having bad things every day, there's something wrong. You need to
Yeah.
look at that. But do not see bad things, do not see problem as a problem. See it as a experience. That's one of the things I
Yes.
say sometimes in the podcast. Because
Yes.
we need to learn
Absolutely.
and open your
Preach.
head to learn every day.
Yes. Preach. 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 Preach.
Hey, I want you plug in everything that you have, your Merc, your Instagram, all your stuff. Plug it into the people again.
Yes. So you guys can find me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Gino Told You So, one word. Check out my pro wrestling tee store, my off the ropes store, my online store, my SoundCloud, because I'm also a rapper. If you guys didn't know, I make music. Hello. I have over 17 mixtapes that I've done since 2004.
Holy shit.
And yes, I have music videos. I have 12 music videos out. Oh gosh, the list goes on. But check me out at the next few events in Colorado Springs, El Paso, Nevada, Tempe, Arizona. Gosh, where else am I going? Utah. I just picked up a Utah date. So just follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I will update daily, almost hourly, about all of my doings, my merchandise, new hats, shirts. I mean, you can purchase all this all over there. So
And I'm gonna say
please,
this:
guys, check me out.
your merch looks fire. I don't have a shirt yet, people,
Yes,
but I'm gonna buy a few because
yes,
I seen your merch and your
yes.
shirts. All your shirts look freaking fire, man.
I have over 40 designs that I make. I have a little office downstairs, and whatever's not on Pro Wrestling Tees, it's just, I uploaded some to Pro Wrestling Tees, but on my store. Just know when you guys get my merch that they're all handmade. I make these, you know what I mean? I make the hats, the shirts, the wristbands, the cards, everything. So they're all made by me. And understand that, like, you're not paying some random guy to do it. Like, I'm literally doing it. So thank you guys for all of your support, and just keep watching, man. The story is gonna get better. You know what I mean? It's only going uphill right now for me. I'm still going, but wait till we go down. We're gonna be, yelling together like, he made it on AEW. He's in WWE. I know that guy.
That is
Just stick
so
with
true.
me, and learn to love life and enjoy everyone you meet. I want to tell people this, for wrestlers, future wrestlers. I want to leave this message. I tell my students this all the time because this is what's kept me in the game, in wrestling, and this is why I cannot leave ever. The day you quit is the day somebody, somewhere, sometime was looking for you. And what I mean by that is in 2014, I was going to quit, right? Well, I stayed because I thought the same very thing. The day I leave is the day somebody, somewhere, sometime was looking for me. And I remember being backstage at WWE for 205 Live, and somebody, meaning, Dean Malenko, somewhere, WWE, sometime in Arizona, they were looking for me. And I got to wrestle in the ring and live out my dreams. And that's why I never left. So I always tell people, future wrestlers, the day you leave, right? Whenever I get these new trainees and they want to try it, and this is my dream, and they leave, and I tell them, you want to think about it, because the day you leave is the day somebody, sometime, somewhere was looking for you. You know what I mean? So I always live by that.
That
Help
is
me.
that is so true. Hey, great having you here, man. Thank you. I want to work a lot of things with you. I need to sit down and talk to you. A few things that I want to
Oh,
do. See
this
what
is
is your
only part
request.
one, baby.
Oh,
This is only part
it is.
one. I still got like five more.
I'm gonna bring you again. We're gonna do this again. We have to, and whenever you're back in North Dakota in Fargo area, we have to work
Yeah.
something. Either you come here, my apartment,
I'll
we'll
come to
record
you.
here, and we'll do something. We'll work something out. Thank you, man. I appreciate this. Is I would say
Yeah.
one of my dreams. My dreams, man.
Thank
I'm a
you.
wrestling fan,
Thank you.
and having our Puerto Rican wrestler that is one of the best independent wrestlers in the game right now
Yes.
in my podcast. I feel in the top of the mountain. Like, thank you. I
This is for,
appreciate.
this is for the culture. This is for the culture right here.
Hey, to everybody that follow, follow Gino. We're gonna have all the links. I'm gonna put all the links on the description down here. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, you're gonna be watching this on video. If you're on those two, thank you for coming up. We're on every platform like iTunes, Amazon, everywhere. Just search "Qué tal si hablamos" al podcast.
Yes.
We have Spanish and English on that, so we're gonna be bilingual in this. Thank you guys, and I hope you have a great day. And hey, thank you, man.
Yes.